Huni running rampage there, but he's gonna get stayed up and killed. Shut down by Babby. Here's Povelter. Huge ulti back in, scoops them all in, and Immortals just gonna run rampant in this team fight. Phoenix blows up, and Belter goes off.
That's fine, it's fine.
I can go. We can keep going, we can win this, we can win this.
Nice. This is real. I got him. Nice.
Holy shit, Eugene.
Whoa!
Hey, chill.
Well, Povelter and his 6-man Azir ultimate was quite the highlight. But
This
here's
is
the
real.
rest of
This
Immortals
is
are
real.
gonna have to go nutty. Welcome back to the deciding Game 5 between CLG Gaming and Immortals, and we can cut the formalities now. There's only one more game left. This series has been absolutely insane.
Yep, you want that third place. It's a little bit of redemption for both teams, but also you want to be in the best shape possible going into Worlds. And if you lose to some team in the third place match, it definitely hinders your chances of looking like one of the top 3 teams from North America.
Yeah, you got to show your ability to adapt to the changes that are coming up in the game. If we look at, across the world, a lot of the top teams, one of the biggest things to me is that they've become okay with not winning the entire map. And you can give up part of the map, concentrate your resources in somewhere else.
Alrighty, lock it and let's go! Immortals CLG, Game 5, Toronto. Is there anything more you wanted? I didn't think so. Let's do it.
No fair.
As well.
Damn, pastry!
Staying standard for now. These teams know exactly how this works.
Look
now.
at this. The Jin ban has come out. Stixxay going off on the champion all throughout this series, and they do take that off of the table.
Yeah. I also think that you end up banning maybe the Shen here too. The Tahm Kench is something that Immortals have been having to ban, and so has CLG the entire time.
Yeah, definitely wondering what globals will get through. Picking people off towards the late game has been crucial for both of these teams as far as the games that they have won. The champions with those abilities, actually Gangplank feels like a must ban here for the last one against Huni for sure. So it looks like Shen is going to get through this time. They opt for the Jin instead.
See what CLG have in store here, because Pick ban has been critical in all 5 of our games now.
Vladimir and Gangplank are kind of the two that are, okay, there.
GP ban, Blood's open.
Vlad's open, Rek'Sai is open. This is the true test. How much do Immortals value the Rek'Sai for Reignover? He hasn't been able to... Whoa!
Yeah, there's so much up.
Yeah.
Bit of a mind game, I like it. Bit of swagger.
So they do value it, just not as high as the Vladimir. First pick that one again for Povelter once again, and he has been so huge in those games that they did win.
Yeah, looking at the statistics for this, in 3 out of the 4 games, Stixxay and He on CLG both did above 1,000 damage per minute. So 6 times out of those 8 instances. Povelter is the only member of Immortals to have over 1,000 damage per minute, and that was on that Vladimir in Game 3.
We'll see if a Rek'Sai for CLG is a good start here, but Immortals, I don't think they're mucking about this time with the picks and bans. Kragaseko feels like what they want to be. They've been happy to lock in their solo laners, and there they are.
Yeah, with both Gnar and GP banned out for the top lane, Huni shown a huge preference for the Echo up there. Meanwhile, CLG, they have their hands on the Sivir this time. How do they run the speed comp?
Big takeaway there. You don't want to have that alongside that Vladimir. And I assume it's going to be a Shen. You'd have to assume at this point, unless Darshan is going to change it up for the first time in the series and go with a signature Jax pick.
Well, they can wait as well. Don't have to pick it just
Wait a
yet.
second.
Oh my god, they...
No. I think that's a spectator, but or a champ selects the
Okay.
They are not
graphic.
locked in.
Champ select
no,
graphic.
clicked in
It's
either.
okay.
Man,
That
they're
is-
really messing around now.
NA production troll, baby. Like to keep it spicy in game number 5.
10 seconds still left for CLG to lock these picks in. Not convinced by Aatrox and Lorax.
Lock those in.
What do you want? There we are, Braum and Shen.
All right. Bring it back here. Aframu on the Braum is actually a very good spot for him.
Yeah, and before he wasn't playing those melee supports, but it's been CLG, coming out on top in a lot of these matchups due to the fact that Aframu has these playmakers, has an ability to guard some of his teammates as well.
Immortals now going to round out this draft. Wild Turtle has had such a series. What does he go to here for his last pick? Into the Sivir. So he had the Sivir last game, couldn't quite convert. Jin, of course, banned away by Immortals, which certainly seems smart versus Stixxay. Does he go to the Lucian? He can definitely find some traction in the matchup.
There's a criminally low amount of Ashe in this series.
Well, it's kind of hard to pick Ashe here for Turtle, right? Because he knows that Huni and Pobelter are just going super offensive, deep dive with Vladimir and Echo. And so you're just trying to keep up at that point, right?
Well, it's an old adage. When you're in a game 5, pick the champion that backdoored you a Nexus in one of the games in the series. Because he's got Ezreal again.
And what would be the last pick here for Counter Logic Gaming? Do they go with the Cassiopeia to counterpick the Vladimir and have a good matchup there? Previously, it was the Malzahar. It did okay, but it wasn't overwhelmingly great and not keeping the Vladimir down at all, where Cassiopeia can actually accomplish that.
I would lean towards yes. The Syndra is also an option for them, something that he might be more comfortable on right now, just because he has had success recently. I don't know if he would have as much success against Vladimir though. So maybe, I don't know. You got to delve into the mind of Huhi. I do think that is going to be something more about Link, though. It is definitely going to be a high DPS late game champion. So those are both, pretty decent options.
This is the final pick of the entire series. And all 10 of these players are visibly exhausted on stage. You can see it. It's been a long series. They have been thinking about every single move they have to make. And with a 45 average game time for these games, it's absolutely absurd how long they have been playing.
And there's Malzahar, the last pick for CLG. Didn't quite work out, but you can see the theory there for Huhi. Does not go to Cassio all series, which is a little surprising, but Hui's been the man to watch for CLG. This series in particular, he has played amazing. He just needs to do it one more time. And these are it. These are our team comps for the final game of this series.
All right, well, if we've been going by the previous advantages, then the team with extra globals, has had a pretty good one. And as of right now, we would assume that Pobelter is going to take the Ghost on Vladimir. So that would mean that, once again, CLG have an extra one up top with Stand United, plus Huhi in the mid lane. Previously, with the Malzahar, took the teleport, so he can also affect the bottom lane. Really big switch up here for me, though, is the Taric in this game. Adaptation here is very good into melee champions, and we're going to see, is this going to be able to help the bottom lane of Immortals? Because that has been one point CLG have been constantly attacking.
Well, we got game 5 on deck, so now is your last chance to have your voice heard out on Twitter. Vote using the hashtag IMT or the hashtag CLG to cheer your squad onto victory. Toronto, I want to hear you as we move into game number 5. We've done it! Immortals, CLG! Let's go!
All right. Braum again in the game, so level 1 shenanigans are a possibility. We saw those get pretty intense last game, actually, and flashes even being blown. As of right now, Immortals, grouping up so they don't let the same thing happen.
Well, I like the adaptation here. Immortals, again, it's been kind of a series of that. I know it's a hot word for the night, but Immortals are going to group up. CLG, they're going to do the same kind of. They've got Smithy Scout on the left-hand side. I guess Darshan's up in the top tri-bush, so just fanning out here. Immortals, they can't quite find a way in. Deep Vision not going to be there, and no one's going to get caught this time around, although might be walking in a little late. Adrian going to lead the charge here. Eats a Q. First blood Afro Moon.
First scratch.
There's Belty Swift. That doesn't get a bit of extra value. Passive off from Mouse as Pobelter going to eat a tiny amount of damage from the dot. And definitely a lane to watch here in the mid. Both Pobelter and Hui have had pretty spectacular games.
Yeah, and especially Pobelter on this Vladimir previously, something that ended up having to be banned away and taken away, and CLG ended up putting a priority on shutting it down. And this right here with Huhi on the Malzahar, you have to think they might play through mid lane, but he also has the teleport to go play through the side lanes and try to upset those. And that's really been CLG, playing towards that bottom side, like you said, Kobe, with the Rek'Sai early ganks. And it's just been so much pressure on Wild Turtle and Adrian in this game that Immortals have been having to sacrifice that lane, and Huni just doesn't get far enough ahead against the Shen to make it matter yet.
Yeah, also, we're going to have to look later towards the game, since all of these games, have been going fairly late. There are a lot of good delivery systems for the Taric stun. Adrian putting that either on Reignover or Huni adds a lot more control to the team fights for Immortals that we have seen them previously lack in the series. and the AoE, long-range stun possibilities,
Oh.
as displayed correctly on your screen.
Oh, the tag
there.
on Turtle.
That was sick, but Turtle gonna get stunned up there. Stixie back in for a few autos here. Turtle has to kite it out. That's not good news. Stixie gonna move back in with the heels being popped. Adrian still fighting it out. He will get stunned in the front lines as Boomerang Blade gets a bit of extra damage down, and these two just going crazy.
Everybody wants to get that first kill in Game 5. You want that advantage in gold, but also in morale.
All right, the jungler alarm is signaling. They're fighting very. Oh,
Oh, Turtle again!
That-
Shifts himself forward.
both junglers again starting on top side, so they can possibly end their routes down here. We'll see who alters it and tries to get down to that scuttle first. Little river ward there for the Immortals squad that's pushed up, but there are many ways that you can gank bottom lane. Go over through the dragon, over the back wall or something like that. It is definitely risky. However, oh wow, it looks like he actually is going to go for
He's
it.
just going straight in for it, but Rainover's gonna be a little late.
They've got it on Adrian already. He gets done.
Adrian stunned. CLG can look to start the
Oh,
series off well.
Stixie.
Turtle back in, trying to take it out. Wild Turtle! Oh my God! Blood outplays CLG. Will go down, but Hootie joins his way in.
Wild Turtle on home turf gets first blood in Game 5.
Billy's dead as well. So many people have fallen down here. Hootie's managed to join his way in. The Foilings are doing work, and this game starts off crazy.
Everybody in the bottom lane, time to party. Darshan didn't channel the teleport though, so he's up top on Shen all by himself with the minion wave in front of his turret. We'll look at the ramifications of that choice later. It looks like he won't be able to freeze it though. It is pushing away from him, so Huni actually probably won't be punished too heavily for this.
That was huge. Immortals saw this coming from a standpoint of they have seen this multiple times. Watch how quickly that TP comes through. As soon as Xmithy is in sight, TP comes through, starts channeling. Adrian lives for as long as he possibly can. They pick up that first kill and the second one, and then Wild Turtle, right on the way out, gets picked up there.
First blood, plus the extra kill there going over to Immortals. And this is the first game where they have had a big early game win when it counts. Game number 5, Turtle and Immortals showing up.
And I love the graphic there. CLG slightly ahead, but this might as well be a coin flip after the series.
I've been cursed since I became a caster. It's a crowd curse now.
Well, we'll calm things down just a touch. The Turtle starts it off well. Tier already built up, so he'll be looking to get that stacked up nice and early. And we talked about the bottom lane being the focus of the series. Immortals finally adjust and get everyone down there ASAP.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how not only that bottom lane, but how is that bottom lane actually going to affect top lane? Because Huni did get one of those kills. And as we saw the minion wave pushing away from Darshan, he didn't get to punish him as far as CS is concerned. They're dead even here. And even a slight experience advantage for Huni in the top lane. This has been historically Immortals' best performer, and even in this series showing up extremely huge. So Huni also set up in a very big way this game.
And there was a lot of criticism on Huni after their match against Cloud9, where the matches that they had lost, he's like 1-8 on Kennen. He's being shut down. There was so much focus on him. And honestly, it was pretty crazy to watch because he could win them a game, he could lose them a game, but he has been consistent in this series. It's just Immortals as a whole has not been able to capitalize on the leads he has been creating.
Well, it seems like maybe they're all firing together now because it starts off well. Immortals almost up 1,000 gold, still kind of creeping towards that point, but Turtle's going to feel safe. Adrian here to protect him as well. Mid lane even, dead even in fact, in CS as we check in quickly. And even the top and jungle. I mean, we talked about how close the series has been. 6 minutes in and everything is even, apart from the kill advantage that Immortals have. They did get an extra with the first blood onto Turtle.
Yeah, priority on bottom lane as well. They've got the ward coverage and Rainover hovering around as he goes in for the Raptor steal.
They get a couple here. Does at least pad the CS a bit, and kind of annoying. Takes him jungle away. He's level 6 now as well. If he does make his way back down to another fight, he's actually going to take the whole camp, so a nice little steal there from Huhi. Smithy again continuing to keep track of the bottom lane scuttle crowd. We got the first one, he will claim the second as well. And that Stixie and Afro are going to be playing up a little bit more as a result.
Meanwhile, top lane, Darshan has hit level 6 on the Shen and is available for future engages. Didn't get to take part in the first one.
I feel it's almost like he forgot. He's like, oh, I have teleport as well. Usually I use this to get back to lane.
Yeah, he did end up getting a decent advantage for himself. About 6 CS up, a whole wave that Huni ended up losing. And now just trying to bully him out here. Huni has that fervor mastery. He's not getting HP back when he brawls with him. He just has to really hard dedicate to these, get those stacks, and then know that even though he's a little bit lower than Shen at that moment, if he keeps fighting, he'll eventually turn it around. It's a very scary position to be in.
These two have been playing it very close as Rainover and Xmithy will meet again. Rainover here with the ultimate ready. Does actually commit it there. Damage back down as he moved him back. Xmithy just tunnels out to safety.
Yeah, but he did just smash him for half his life. Haha!
Got him.
Bopped.
I mean, he's got a buff to take, right? And a Void Rush.
Interesting
well,
though,
so
because he
they're
doesn't have mid lane here, as Pobelter's not moving up and coming to join. Huni is though, so it's the Rainover Huni duo looking for that jungle priority.
And Xmithy doesn't have Smite either, so he can't contest this.
Pobelter also makes his way in there, so Immortals play it properly, managed to get everyone in the right area, and this will be a buff steal away. Immortals starting to, you know, kind of throw their weight around a little and try and control as Adrian going to get caught by Xmithy. Damage is down.
They know,
the flash.
yeah, he has to flash out of that because they know that Rainover was just stealing the red, and so Adrian has no backup, and they earn the flash off the support.
And Huhi had mid lane priority because you saw Pobelter try and go to the red as well. So Huhi would have been there first if he had just tried to walk out.
There's more damage. Xmithy now trading blows with Rainover, doing that little exchange. Huey and Pobelter again, just trying to keep these waves pushed in, keep the CS up and even, and then try and make those plays. Huey with the teleport back up, so if he needs to join a scuffle, he can. And CLG actually going to take the red away. Very nice extended counter jungling.
Exactly. Bottom side, we saw, tried to get it there. We saw that 6A, Sivir way more wave clear than Ezreal, especially early on.
Darshan actually in a bit of a bind. Huni going to dive back in. Darshan commits and actually doesn't have taunt. No. Would have been a perfect time to get it, but Huni plays around the cooldowns properly, and CLG getting a very aggressive start onto this Infernal Drake.
Yeah, the Voidlings are tanking it, but they get chased off pretty quickly as Immortals move in with some vision.
Aggressive retreat too. They'll pull off pretty quickly there after Immortals do show that they have vision. They're taking it around for a little longer. Maybe they fancy something here, but they do give it up in the end. Darshan has to get himself away. Huni bullying a little bit, that Shane helping out a ton. Darshan has been very impressive, I will say. I think he's been almost slept on in the series. He's clearly got like one thing to do here, but he's done it very well. It's 5 games of Shane all in a row, playing against Huni, such an aggressive player with Rainover maybe in his back pocket, and Darshan has done an excellent job. Just kind of soaking all that pressure.
And that turret is taking so much damage now, and with TP down, Darshan can't get back up here. Rek'Sai, they have tabs on him in the jungle because he's fighting Rainover right now.
Whoa! Out onto Rainover, Xmithy going to bump him up as well. Doesn't get the unburrow. Damage out there follows through, but Pobelter able to defend his jungler. Rainover somehow lived through all that. That's normally not how that goes. He did commit the flash as well to try and take him down, but Immortals starting to win a little of these lanes. Chip damage now for Total, and Adrian down into this turret as Stixay brought low as well.
Yeah, Rainover did have to burn his flash to escape that last engage, so the possibilities of those body slam, flash, Gragas, ultimate ganks aren't going to be there, and those are some of the most threatening tools that Immortals do have on their side. The other thing is that turret is getting very low on the top side, so that timer ticking down towards first turret gold is getting very, very close, and that may be what we see be the impetus for their next bout of action.
And if that goes on to Huni, that might be an advantage that they can press. 650 gold over your opponent is pretty insane. So he's been using it. He's been kind of abusing these lanes.
There are some options that you have when something like that is ticking down. Either try and use it as bait, as we've seen several teams do. You know, maybe time it there with one of the duo's recalls and have them move up towards a different side, or try and force on the bottom side with a Shen play, get the kill, and then try and burn the turret down subsequently, and try and hope to get the advantage that way and just beat him to the turret destruction. Getting more and more difficult though, because Huni's got that pretty low.
Very nice from Darshan. Huni takes it.
Or just clobber him.
Takes an extra turret shot too.
Well, Huni not really deterred by things such as turrets. He's going to keep pushing this wave in here. Again, it's been really an island between these two with so much bottom lane focus from the junglers, and Huni, I said Darshan has done a really good job. Huni's done an amazing job all series long.
Absolutely. Huni has been on point in this series. Looking like his old self. It's just being able to take over the entire game right now is a little difficult, especially against the Shen.
Something brewing here, perhaps. Xmithy gets bopped by Rainover's belly, but not too miffed about it, it seems like. Another stun again. Great spell shield from Stixay. Gonna keep that aggression, at least for now, but Turtle again's been riding high on that advantage. Well, he's gonna get stunned up, maybe. Adrian there to protect him, burns the heals, Thor's committed as well.
Free summoner out there for CLG. Can they re-engage off that next stun? There's a lot of movement in the river. They have to watch that Vladimir.
Yeah, Adrian a little low, but he gets himself out of the way. Turtle actually misses that first ultimate. Rainova's here, but it's a little late. Can't quite convert for this bottom lane gank.
Yeah, that room, they had vision on it. Smithy was there with Rek'Sai, so they were alerted to the extra pressure. So CLG bottom lane knows they can't all in.
More of this again. I mean, it's been great to watch how close Darshan has played Shen versus X. And Shen is just a champion that kind of gets through lane. Darshan, I feel like he's learnt the matchups as the series is going on. He's certainly had enough time landing against Huni.
They're both learning as they're fighting. Yeah. Top laner machine learning. They're both robots. All right. Meanwhile, bottom side, the pink ward here is going to enable a little bit of a surprise move. Right over in the area.
Barreling straight through, but still wards in that bush.
Huni at it again, though.
Or this again.
That's
he got the flash.
He's going to go back in for it. Huni, he wants it all. Needs another tag. Get it in.
Oh,
range.
The slimmest of margins. Here comes Rek'Sai. He's got to teleport out because he sees Rek'Sai
coming. Oh no, he got taunted up, and Smithy's here. There's the kill onto Huni.
Saw it coming, but knowing is only half the battle, and Smithy finishes the other half of the battle. Kills Huni there. Now maybe we see a stand united. This is the perfect time. They know that he can't answer. Teleport was also used there. So many big wins for CLG right in that play.
And Huni's been playing so well, but right there, they lose track of Xmithy, and Rainover's caught as well.
It's the ulti, Voidling's gonna chase in, Ultimate's gonna disengage him, but the Infernal Drake goes to CLG. They collect the prize they were looking for.
We've been wondering when this top lane battle was gonna draw some extra attention. Smithy heads up there, runs straight through the ward, and they are able to claim the Drake off the back of it, so pretty big tipping point. We say that, yet look at the gold. Almost exactly even yet again. Drake over to CLG though.
Yep, back to where we started again. And that top lane fight was pretty insane because Huni, if he had actually had that one auto attack after he had used his flash or had actually followed his phase dive, he may have been able to kill Darshan.
Plus, that didn't throw all the work that Huni had done out the window. That turret is still very low up there. The CLG turret that is standing on top side. Meanwhile, bottom side, they're starting to make some headway actually here versus Turtle and Adrian.
Yeah, pretty low here for both of them and their champions, so turret damage could also be threatened here. Darshan is doing a pretty nice job gatekeeping this turret. Huni really wants to just take it down, but Darshan is constantly harassing him back and forth, intelligently using the taunts. He pops the refuge once again as Xmithy's here to try and force the issue on this bottom lane.
All right, they want to make use of the stand united and then the extra global here by forcing it. Immortals do know that that's an option and they can't have Huni answer, but they're not going to get baited into this.
And you can see Pobelter playing towards that side as well. Didn't get the opportunity to back just yet.
Ooh. Bit of key miss. In fact, maybe puts Adrian, but can some move out to try and get it. Tames a bit what it said. Adrian there. Oh, uh-oh. Turtle back though. Should be safe. So that's CLG's bottom lane. Just going to take the back instead.
Exactly. Stixay and Aframu end up backing there instead of continuing to push.
Louis is really on Raptor Farm overdrive right now.
And right here, you can see Huni completed his Trinity Force. He's going to go back to that top side, uses the ultimate, and now he's going to try to pick on Darshan. And if he gets a big chunk out of him, he might get that
Oh,
DP.
he's spotted in. The stun lands in. The ward is crucial from Huni. Darshan does manage to stay safe for now, but Huni's going to apply so much pressure here.
Yeah, and here's the thing is, if you need Darshan to back to TP, that's enough time to kill that turret.
Definitely true, and they're sending extra reinforcements up there just to make sure this does happen.
Huni would love the bonus gold. He's actually going to try and commit for a dive here. Darshan forced to get out of the way. And that turret is going to go down here, I think. Needs a little bit more. Darshan overstaying is welcome, I think. Huni going to follow in. Doesn't want the tower, but Xmithy's here to try and save it around. Huni, though, takes out Darshan. CLG trying to add to Apro's here as well, of course.
Yeah, a little bit greedy there from Darshan, but his team doesn't want to let him die in vain.
Here comes Stixay.
Stixay needs something here, but Huni just going to try and fight his way out of it. Probably not going to be able to do it as Stixay does claim a life, but Pobelter gets exhausted. Apromu puts on a door and says to turn around. Ulti, Ancient can't do it there. Does make Pobelter invincible for long enough. And there's a flash forward. Another kill for Pobelter as Immortals playing straight up in CLG's face. And they're not done. Pobelter He's now going to get turned
Oh, the
back
stun!
on. It's a stun from Adrian. Finds two. Evo going to turn around. Podolta goes off as there's the stage. Started on Hui. He will fall. So Darkman does not join. And Smithy now going to get forced to Immortals dive. They do not dare.
The Tarek pick coming up huge as Adrian is able to turn that fight around, and Immortals come at very ahead. They aren't even taking the turret as well. It's still standing very low. They need to get the first turret cash in. Can they get it before Field to get back? There's so many people died, they're rezzing already.
And the
they want to bully it down, though.
The man who did all the hard work for it doesn't even get it either.
Are they even gonna, is the team
I don't
even
know.
gonna get it? That might even still stand another day. Look
yeah,
at how
you
low.
go get it.
Turtle
Yeah,
goes
you
in
go get
for
that.
it. Darshan actually going to get stunned up here. Immortals might get another little prize after the turret. Stick stays here to try and defend, but Darshan dies to rain over. Here comes Smithy. Great hold there from the Gragas, and now the knock up on the turtle. Smithy needs it, but Adrian again comes up huge, and Hooney's diving back on a Stick stay. Stick stay is going to go down as Afro cannot save him.
Adrian is playing like a monster today.
Game 5 is running off the rails here. CLG getting pretty desperate, trying to clean up this small tempo lead, and Immortals are running away with this lead.
That finish line for CLG is right there, and they might be tripping right before it, and Immortals overtaking them in Game 5. It's a 5,000 cold lead 18 minutes in.
This is the first game where Immortals had an early lead, and CLG aren't used to trying to catch back up, dropping quite a few mistakes here and there.
And like, just to give more context on how good Adrian has been, he's only missed out on 1 kill, highest KP.
Afro win again. Pobelta actually taking too much here. Dot maybe going to take him out as Adrian's actually here to save him once again. In for the defense.
This Tarek is actually such a brilliant pick for Immortals because of the fact that that dazzle, that linear stun, people chase down Immortals and try to get them afterwards, and the ultimate allows Vladimir to have time to get HP back.
Here's some Hooney things. Gets aggressive, gets an ulti out of Afromu. As Immortals turn their attention to this mid lane turret. Adrian again just playing straight frontline right now. Immortals gonna try and connect this seed. Adrian wants the ward. Rainover's there in his back pocket. He's gonna commit. Smithy forced to slink away back into his jungle. These Immortals getting aggressive here. Hooney's got that Trinity Force, don't forget. This is good damage. In fact, they're just going to take it. Smithy, you cannot stay here, and he does tunnel out. But the turret goes to Immortals. That's exactly what they want.
And they got the bottom turret as well. Wild Turtle picks up one. Simultaneously, that is all the outer turrets down for CLG, and they haven't returned a single one.
Yeah, Darshan is working towards it on the top side, but we'll revisit that later. Let's take another look at the replay here, where Darshan tried to go in and save this turret. As Turtle realizes about halfway through, there's only one auto on it, so he goes to get the gold, plus they turn around and they kill Darshan. He sticks around a bit too long, even knowing that Stixay is coming. Rainover gets that last W-empowered auto, and that means Smithy's also going to his death. Stun landing there from Adrian. They get the extra kill. This is where it just snowballs out of control in Immortals' favor.
And Smithy ended up tunneling in, and that barrel from Rainover, absolutely perfect. Threw Stixay off to the right and threw Smithy into the team, so he had to go for that kill onto Wild Turtle and attempt it. Still got nothing out of it, and that's why we see Immortals where they are right now, 7,000.
Yeah, this gold lead is unreasonable from Immortals. As they're just taking over the map here. Mountain Drake's up if they want to take it. CLG forced to play back for so much longer, and the pressure never lets up from Immortals.
You can tell by the way that Turtle is building. Trinity Force Ezreal this time around. He's not going with the blue defensive Kaidi Ezreal. He's got red buff. He's got the 2-item giant damage power spike here after the Muramana has transformed as well. And that's going to be the Mountain Drake over to Immortals as well.
That's so much siege potential. That cooldown reduction, 30% already for Turtle, ready to just dish out so much damage and get in a situation where they're sieging, and they already have all the outers out. Why not? Why not keep poking people under turrets? And Immortals now have that online for themselves.
Very huge power spikes going on across the board here for Immortals, and we'll see how they press this because they are already moving up those ward lines into the jungle of CLG.
Well, pressure stops briefly for Immortals, but usually doesn't stay quiet for long. Pobelta is going to push himself up towards that top lane, kind of take the empty lane and get some of that started here and try and move some of CLG's globals out of the way. He does Paralyze and a Spirit Visage, so he's feeling just fine. Hooney continuing his side lane pressure. We'll have his teleport back up in just a matter of seconds. And that means Turtles anchored to the mid lane. Immortals with a great 1-3-1 setup here. You mentioned it already, Zyrene. It's time for them to siege. They have so much to play for right now. And everything in this game has just gone straight Immortals.
Yeah, been back and forth in this entire series. And in this game, Immortals, largest gold lead we've seen in the earliest parts of a game. It's been neck and neck, but game 5 right now, Immortals are putting the pressure on, and this looks like the way that they like to play. Win that early game from having skirmishes and outplaying your opponents. And CLG have fallen into that trap more than once this game alone.
All right, they converge once again, this time on mid lane turret. Vladimir does not have teleport, so you would have to walk down if they go for it. Oh!
Yeah, a little too chunked there.
Hooney's looking for him!
Oh, Hooney wants to dive in for it. The heal gets used. The ulti's out. Gets out from under Afro, removes Glacial Fissure. And they have the turret hold as well. This is dangerous. Hui goes in. There's the old F from Adrian. The Hooney gonna get protected. Silly Vulnerable as Wild Turtle going crazy. Gets a kill as the Mother is gonna go down now. Afro getting chased into some Immortals. Dive straight under the turret. Stand United protects 6-day, but not for too much longer.
Turtle's gonna go for it.
Wants it again. He's going wild as Immortals dive under the turret. Take out Dashan.
Dive after dive with Echo and Vladimir, each taking turns, trading off this tower aggro. Immortals find success over and over. 2 men down for CLG, and Immortals, 23 minutes in, already knocking on the inhibitor turret.
They found the dagger. It is in there, trying to twist it now and put those finishing touches on the game to start locking it up here, because Immortals gonna get an inhibitor so early on off of skirmishes, fighting, playing their style.
And CLG, we saw they could match Immortals' style in a lot of the series, but Immortals have taken it to the next level. Ascended, Immortals look poised to claim the final game here in record time for this series.
It's like CLG poked the sleeping giant in this series.
They made some bottom lane changes, crucial bottom lane changes for Immortals. Picking up the Taric, yes, that was huge, but also banning out Stixay's Jhin, who has been extremely strong on that champion. Take another look at the initial dive there from Hooney, though, as Stixay was able to escape that one. Then the re-engagement.
Yep, Hui comes through with the ultimate, but Adrian, again, ultimate that hits Hooney there, and then Hui gets picked up, and so much damage comes through, and this Trinity Force is doing work here. Almost through the entire shield of that Shen. Wild Turtle just gets really aggressive.
Yeah, and Smithy actually not able to land the knockup on Rek'Sai. Unburrows a little tiny bit out of range there. Doesn't knock up Turtle, and he's able to walk right out of the turret aggro.
And now they have all these super minions going through the mid lane. They have this gigantic gold advantage. Baron might be on the table very shortly for Immortals.
I'm surprised we got that whole repick, because I thought they were going to run straight to Baron after they based. Immortals certainly positioned to try and take it here, but instead looks like they want additional pressure in the side lane. Hooney back to his tricks in bottom lane. Pobelter firmly standing here in top lane. And the rest of Immortals just waiting for another opening.
This bottom lane not going Hooney's way at all.
We'll see about that. He's out of mana, so I think I agree. He'll run his way out, though.
Yeah, so Echo's extremely slippery, not only because the huge speed boost from the passive on the triple hit, but also once he gets Trinity Force, you also have the flat move speed on that one. Meanwhile, Immortals on the other side of the map, taking down Baron.
Yeah, it's a 2-man plus Adrian now, so 3. So it's Smithy, gonna check it. Hey, Rainover's there, doesn't know the HP, throws down the ward. They clear out the ward, it's at 2K. Can Smithy save the game for CLG?
50-50, they're actually the same level. Don't me for Immortals show some discipline.
They don't need to go for a 50-50 at this. They are so far ahead of the game.
Pobelter instead just goes straight in for it. That Q just demolished someone's poor health bar. Pobelter still playing up on the front line. Turtle back to his old self. In home turf, playing nice and aggressive.
And he might be building a Yomu's Ghostblade next as well. So a little bit different from what I've been seeing from the Ezreals.
Give me the Dustblade. Let's go, Turtle. Really trying to play up an aggressive here as Immortals claim themselves another turret. 6-0 right now. CLG almost getting shut out in this game.
And even that Yomu's that's coming through just signals they want to shut them out completely from this game. Immortals want to end it fairly soon and keep this pressure on and not have it dwindle in any way. They want to be one best of 5 away from going to Worlds.
What's on the line here for them? We'll see where they go next. There is a Drake up in 30 seconds. It will be an Infernal, which will add nicely to the Mountain Drake they picked up already. CLG do have a Drake for themselves, so they get the first Infernal. So kind of neutralizing the potential Drake lead there. But Immortals are just far ahead in so every other metric. Now 10,000 gold ahead so early on into this one.
Right, so now CLG need to turtle. You can see Smithy there. He was trying to leave that tunnel for later when the inevitable Baron pressure does come up. If that one goes unnoticed, then he can try and get back out there for that miracle steal that they're going to need, because CLG right now, they just cannot fight Immortals heads up.
Yeah, 11,000 gold advantage. Absolutely insane 27 minutes in. And the Infernal Drake duoed there.
Actually
by
did
Immortals.
solo it. Ran over, I thought he was there to help him, but Todd was like, nah, I got this. Does have the Ghost Blade finished up now as well. And he's gonna go a look in, see if he can't find something he likes. It's probably an enemy champion because he does so much damage right now. Immortals, though, I have to say, respecting the discipline in their play. They know they're very far ahead. They just need to do the right thing and close it out methodically. No need to get too crazy. That already won you the early game. Close it out strong, take your best of 5, and move on to the gauntlet.
Well, they found the tunnel, cleared that one out. Now they're doing their work in the red quadrant, trying to get all the vision as well. They're trying to cross every T and dot every I to make sure that they don't mess it up. Oh, Turtle goes
Kill gets it! Weaves in perfectly. And poor Stixade has had nothing to do there.
Turtle has crossed that T, and they put it over Stixade's head as he goes back to the fountain.
And that might be Baron now for Immortals. They put themselves in a position to do it. Pobelter just zoning right now. Has the Rylai's Crystal Scepter.
Found Xmithy. Xmithy's kind of tanky. The CLG are going to commit everything to try and stop this. They have to go. With the Baron so low and Pobelter still zoning him out of the way. Pobelter actually 1v2 right now versus Darshan and Xmithy. They're stopping the Baron pressure as Turtle comes back around.
Hooney's flanking. He teleported in around behind.
Oh, Hooney's going to get popped. Turtle gets himself another kill. IMT going to try and turn it on as Aframu. Now the next one to be caught. Darshan stunned up as well by the Echo W, and he might fall. Pobelter going to chase it down as Turtle gets a double kill. Pobelter with a third, and Immortals, they're getting awfully close.
Oh man, it is very close. They can almost touch it. And Smithy
found again. Pobelter just doing so much damage. He needs to get into the pit, but he's not going to make it in time. Pobelter forces him away, and Immortals will claim the Baron.
And that's his tunnel as well. There's no way he gets back in that pit with the zoning there from Pobelter. And Immortals with the Baron and 14,000 gold are able to close this game out fairly shortly, because if everything keeps going the way that it has been with the tempo they have, they might be able to push CLG out of the series.
They are headed to the top of the gauntlet. Right here, though, Hooney off your screen, teleported in around behind them. Turtle goes in for the kill onto Huhi, and then it's just cleanup as CLG are trying to run for the hills. Aframu flashes over the hill, but that's not far enough.
While Turtle just chases him down. And now, Immortals. They faltered again.
I heard a Ghost Blade. Yeah, he's in. Turtle wants it again. Look at the Stixade. Almost gets him in one fell swoop. And Immortals going in again. The ulti's not going to hit for Ezreal, but that inhibitor will be retaken. Immortals using that Baron pressure, going to try and knock down a few more buildings.
Turtle, once he has his confidence back, is an amazing thing to watch. Constantly going for those 80 carry assassinations.
Go flash forward.
Almost finding it there.
Almost. He's 7-1-5. He has been doing so well this game. This bottom lane, completely turning it around with those changes that you were talking about, Kobe, in the champions, like the adjustments and the counter, and they're going for a dive.
Immortals going, Adrian leads the charge, pops down the ulti. Immortals looking to try and surge down and take down CLG. They'll take this top tower instead, as CLG bleeding too many buildings. That inhib's gonna force CLG. You have one left to defend. Your Nexus is getting dangerously close to falling in this final game. How much longer can they hold on? Can they hold on?
We have seen CLG come back from gold deficits this size before, many times, in fact, this year.
They are one of the few teams that does practice getting behind its scrims and trying to play out of it. This is going to be a very difficult one to get out of, though. 2 inhibitors down. There are wards inside their base as well, and this is a Baroned up Immortals coming for that spot.
Pobelter going to start things off right again. Baron buff still available for a decent chunk of time. He's going to push his way down and get this last inhibitor turret exposed. There's a tier 2 there for CLG, but I don't think they'll fancy defending that one.
even if CLG are unable to make this miracle comeback, they have put up such a strong showing in this series versus Immortals, who everyone had over them as either 3-0 or 3-1. But CLG have improved over this season, and they're fighting here.
Jack Smithy gonna get knocked back by Rainer, but he's dead in an instant as well. Turtle now godlike, they're diving in. Hooney once it goes into the backline, parallel conversion, starts up everyone. Immortals, they are doing it. Afro goes down as Turtle gets himself a double, looking for another. That's the triple, he can only grab the quadra, but Dasha's the only one left alive.
And Immortals are looking to punch their ticket to the North American Regional Qualifiers. They are one best of 5 away from Worlds.
This game is over. They bruise, they bleed, but they never, ever die. Immortals conquer the North versus Counter Logic Gaming.
And the crowd on their feet. A spectacular display of League of Legends today.
Salute the hero, Wild Turtle. Played an incredible series.
Got to show off in the last game there on the Ezreal. 10-1-5, the final score for him. Adrian supporting him on that Taric. Huge pick to come out for the squad. Completely changing the face of their team fights. Completely turning it around.
And only missed out on 1 kill in the entire game. 1-1-18. Adrian, this entire series, went a little bit overlooked, but he was very key in all of these fights, and especially in this game. The Dazzles were on point.
Kobe said already, full credit still to CLG. This is the sort of match where you do want to show how strong you are, moving into the gauntlet, moving into Worlds potentially. CLG showed up despite the heartbreak.
If TSM don't win and they don't take CLG automatically with them to Worlds, then they will have a rematch, maybe. Versus Immortals, if they can also beat the rest of the gauntlet.
But with CLG looking like that, coming into this match, you know, if they went straight to Worlds off of TSM winning, today changes a lot of people's minds about where they stand in power rankings.
Well, it's been a rough season for both these teams. CLG will walk off the stage, but still satisfied, I believe, with their performance. Afro waves to the crowd. Toronto's been amazing tonight. And Turtle, it just has to feel so good.
And he gets
and
to raise the flag.
Oh, that too. I mean, I think we're fairly done at this point. So high five defense.
And you can see CLG, they still win some hearts despite not winning the game.
Definitely played their heart outs in this series, stretching it to the full 5 games. And the time limit, I believe.
Immortals showing, though, that when it all matters in the end, they are still such a great team. Turtle will take the Canadian flag with him off stage.
And now, regardless of the result of tomorrow, Immortals are one best of 5 away from being in Worlds, which this team was put together for that sole purpose. They brought together some semifinalists from the previous Worlds, they brought together some champions from the NALCS, and they made a team that they said, we're gonna conquer North America. Well, you know, fell a little bit short, but if they're able to conquer internationally, get that experience, and maybe even go far, they can come back even stronger.
Definitely can still do North America proud. These are, we said it before, a lineup of veterans. All these guys have experienced, you know, success as well as failure. That's why they don't get so tilted in best of 5s, right? That's why we always talk about the determination, you know, and the poise of these guys in the long series.
That's why Zareen says that 14,000 goal behind, CLG might still be in the game. I agree with you.
I mean, it happens, right? Like, I'm not gonna go into so much hyperbole, but it does happen. People do make mistakes. We saw them get 14,000 gold behind. There's a way that you slingshot back into the game.
Both of these teams showed a lot of heart throughout the games. We said it multiple times now, not backing down from any calls made by the team, and not backing down from any fights.
Well, now we're going to send you down to the stage where Chad is standing by for a post-game interview with Canada's hometown hero. Give it up for Wild Turtle!
Wild Turtle, congratulations on the thrilling 5-game series. You also had a great game in the 5th game. What did it feel like playing for this crowd?
It felt amazing playing for the home crowd. I love Toronto. I love all my fans. I love Canada. It just feels awesome being home and playing.
Yeah, and you can feel the love coming from both angles as well. The Canadian flag, the fans, everything. But the series itself was also incredible. Were you expecting that level of intensity from CLG coming into this third place match?
We knew C9 was pretty good. I think all the top 4 teams right now are extremely good, and we just tried to play our best, and I think it worked out pretty well.
Absolutely, and in this 5-game series against CLG, what do you think the turning point was? Because you guys seem to be trading punches back and forth and back again. How did you pull it out finally in that 5th game?
Honestly, we kind of just tried to play a little bit more aggressive, and I think it really worked out because we kind of played a really long game, like 50-minute games, and I think we just tried to be a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah, in the final game, the aggression finally worked out for you. Now you have to set your eyes on the regional qualifier. You guys obviously would have loved to run through the split, get first seed. That didn't happen. Now you're there. How do you prepare in the next coming days so that you can still make it to Worlds?
I think we're just going to practice extremely hard, and we really want to be at Worlds so we can please all our fans. I love all you guys.
All right, Wild Turtle. Thank you very much. Congratulations and good luck for sure. It's great to be in Canada. For now, though, we're going to send it to the casters to close out a bit more.
Thank you very much, Jen. Amazing to hear from Wild Turtle. Again, it must feel good to play with the Canadian flag on his back in front of the hometown crowd. He backdoored a Nexus to keep them in this series.
I know he's been looking for this for a long time. You got the back door, front door, the Nexus.
Yeah.
I gotta see who they ran straight in with the minions, but he also got to show off in the last game. 10 kills on the Ezreal, building the flat armor penetration to boot, and chasing down a couple stragglers.
They also got to stay here a pretty long time on stage. Those were incredibly long games.
More than 10 minutes of fame for sure.
Exactly. Very long. And the last game was the shortest one at 32 minutes, and they were playing 50-minute long games. And he was talking about how they had to turn the aggression up a little bit. Is exactly what they needed. They turned it on, and they had those early TPs to bot lane. You think of Immortals, you think of those plays where Hooney's coming down to the bottom lane, and then he gets those early kills. That time he did it. That time Darshan didn't answer, and that's when they started getting that lead.
And it says something about how deep these guys can dig when after 4 45-plus minute games, they can still turn it up a notch and increase the pace of the game.
Well, after such a close series, it would only make sense to interview the other side as well. So we're going to toss it back to Jat, who is standing by for a chat with Stixay.
Thank you very much, Pastry. And I'm with the AD carry on the other side of the matchup right now, Stixay. Stixay, that was a fantastic series. Unfortunately, you're not kind of on the winning side of it, but tell me what your thoughts are about playing in such a grueling and close 5-game series.
I guess it was like a really, really long series. Every game, we knew it was going to be like 40, 50-minute games every game. So I would say mentally it was pretty taxing. And by game 5, I feel like it kind of got to us. I felt like the first 4 games we played like pretty well, pretty consistent. And then game 5 just kind of got to us. So.
Yeah, and that's surprising to hear as well because you guys have had so much experience in high-pressure situations. 5 games in Las Vegas, great run at MSI. Why do you think, obviously it's hard to say, but why do you think it could have gotten to you guys in the end?
Well, honestly, it just, like every game was like 50 minutes. So after 5 games of that, it just gets really tiring. It's hard to focus and always think about the best thing to do. And sometimes you just slip up. So like last game we just messed up, overcommitted bottom, and pretty much lost the game off that. So.
Yeah, and you also had a few tremendous Jin games throughout the series, incredibly competitive. But now you're in a peculiar situation where if TSM wins tomorrow, you go to Worlds. Are you rooting for TSM tomorrow, as it's sacrilege for a CLG fan, CLG player to do?
After we lost to TSM in the finals, I asked Doublelift if he would give me a TSM jersey. So yeah, I'm a TSM fan.
All right. You heard from Stixay. If that happens, they go to Worlds. If not, they'll be in the regional qualifier. Thank you very much, Stixay. It was a great series and a pleasure to watch. I'm sure the fans are happy as well. For now, though, we're going to send it to the analyst desk to close out the day.
Thank you, Jat. Thank you so much, Stixay and Wild Turtle, for taking some time after the games. Intense games, and I think kind of what Jat was saying in the end of that is the way we saw it, very close, very long games, and that could have been CLG as well, doing just what Immortals did in that last game. It was breakout fights and then 4,000 gold leads that both teams were getting at times.
I think this was kind of the... Sorry. No, go ahead.
Yeah, everybody's pile on.
Sorry. It was so exciting.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry. I think this was just kind of the first game that bucked the trend where like bot lane was losing for balling for Immortals and then winning topside for Immortals. So like this was the first time that their bot side finally won, and it kind of opened up the rest of the game because Huni was able to join in bot lane, and then they could snowball around the rest of the map, whereas usually there was some kind of shift in power.
And I think that Turtle, because he's such an aggressive player, when he's behind, he can sometimes look pretty rough because he's still playing aggressively, right? And he's still going for those plays, and they're not going to work out when you're behind. But this game was pretty nuts. Once he got ahead, how aggressively he's playing, he's able to just dive forward, assassinating Stixay. He was really, really on point in this game 5, and definitely.
And it all came from that play in the bot side where we've seen it 4 times in a row.
Let's bring it up on your screen
right
right now.
Well. Rainover goes to the bottom lane, or Xmithy has ganked bottom lane every single time, 3 minutes in, and it's worked pretty much every time.
Yeah.
And for the first game, we actually see Immortals respond properly, because the second that they're going to see him in the map, they're going to have TP in. And Wild Turtle makes the correct decision to go for the all-in right here, and from this point onwards, and Immortals is set to go.
Yeah, I mean, Rainover is just finishing up right at the very end to help turn around the rest of these kills with Huni, and that kind of offsets the disadvantage he's going to be at from using his TP.
And I mean, the fact of the matter is, if Wild Turtle tried to run there, he would have just died to Smithy. He would have accomplished nothing. Instead, he goes aggressive. He gets first blood. And a lot of that was because of the advantage they'd already carved out for themselves in that 2v2 matchup, where they had been landing some really good trades and been able to kind of heal back up because of that Taric.
And as well, the bottom lane definitely getting a little bit of help from Huni. As like we were talking in the games, that Huni was actually playing maybe a little bit selfish, staying in his lane. Not as many TPs as we saw. He was there for the mid-game fights, but like we saw in that bottom lane play just now, that's usually what we're used to from Immortals.
I think a big part too is the adaptation in the draft, where they finally banned the Jhin. They're just like, we can't handle this. We don't have a pick into it. Let's just ban it. Give them Sivir. We'll play something else. And I think that was actually huge, as well as letting the Vlad.
Well, yeah, the elephant in the room. You let Vladimir go through every single time. So the mind games, at game 4, we thought, okay, Rek'Sai is a pick that Immortals wants to get.
That's what we thought.
Rainover has been struggling, and then CLG makes the decision of leaving Vlad and Rek'Sai up. So they say, okay, either you take Vlad or you take Rek'Sai, but we're going to take the rest. But unfortunately, Immortals has won with Vlad without the Rek'Sai, so they have no issues just taking Vladimir, making their composition work, and Rainover looked fine this game. Very comfortable, understanding that you have such a dominant pick in your lane that is able to just flat out win lane and win team fights.
I mean, the tough thing is, though, it's easy to pin it all on the Vlad, but, had that bot lane fight gone a different way, had some of the tragedies not occurred in top lane, it could look very different, because, I mean, Sivir is an AD carry that easily builds Executor's Calling, and that item, it works very well against Vlad. Malzahar is quite good, I think, as far as team fighting. If you can land the ultimate, if you can burst this champion down, you can definitely deal with them. But, Vlad, in combination with them getting very far behind, there's almost no champion better at snowballing.
I thought that they would go with a Kassadin, maybe a little bit riskier, because we saw in the matchup where they ran Malz into Vlad, they picked the QSS on Vlad, and that's kind of become a common build for Vladimir's into Malz, where they go Spirit Visage and QSS, way too much magic resist to actually burn through with the likes of a low damage comp with Shen, Rek'Sai, and Braum.
Well, let's bring it into 16-15 here. The double replay that kind of breaks this game open and shows exactly what Wild Turtle was saying is we wanted to play aggressive. And this is actually a back-to-back that you're going to see here in replay.
This is something where, honestly, Darshan had no business going back to defend that turret with one hit on it. He's super low on HP. Yes, Smithy is coming, but him walking back was essentially suicide, and it sets up Immortals for a very good fight.
I mean, when you look at this on your minimap, it looks like this is actually going to be a good play for CLG2. They're getting the complete flank off, but then the way that Immortals just always seems to win these really, really scrappy situations, this one kind of off the back of a Vladimir as well, seeing the Taric pick come through and just how powerful that ult is.
Look at Rainover on the minimap. He's running around the Rosie for Xmithy while he's chasing him into the blue buff, and he's actually going to be able to come back around and make a difference in this fight, which is a crazy thing because they keep chasing here, thinking that they can get something, and surprise, here's going to come Xmithy. I mean, this is just... I don't even know. This is something else.
Yeah. What you expect after that game 5, like Stixay said, a lot of these games going 40, now 50 minutes, and like we said at the start, it's wasting everything they have in the tank.
And this is right after Darshan reses. He already tried to defend the turret over aggressively once, then he's going in 1v3. Yeah, Stixay is coming, but again, he gives up his life for free, and that's kind of what Stixay is talking about. You have to think, as far as losing mental focus, how did he think this was a good idea here? He goes in, he gives up his life for free. Smithy comes around, tries to finish off that kill very greedily in a 1v3 again, low HP. He gives up his life, and this is where the game was essentially over from. They got so far ahead, and Immortals just never gave CLG a chance to get back in.
It really was the end of it there, but you ask where that confidence come from, and I think about it, and game 1 was almost very reminiscent of what those fights were. Spawn, back into the fight, spawn, back into the fight, and it felt good then as the team was behind behind them, but CLG wasn't as behind each other in these instances.
And that's the thing that Stixxay mentioned. Even though they have so much experience internationally, they've been to so many tournaments, grueling matches against even tougher competition, but the fact that these games have gone to 50 minutes makes it that much more taxing onto whatever mental state you're currently at, because there's so many more factors that you have to go in. If it's a 25-minute game every single time, that's essentially half the amount of thought process behind your actions that you have to do. And I mean, even though there weren't a whole lot of thought process macro-wise, the actual team fighting decisions that you have to go through in this game were just immense.
And that's why I think that big play initially that Turtle was a part of was such a huge part of this game, because to recover mentally from like, oh my God, we just gave up a triple kill and like all these problems, it takes a lot of like resolve. And I think that's something that CLG's been really good with over the course of their seasons and things, but just they didn't have it in them today.
And it seemed like Immortals was able to squeak it out in the end. The 5-game series has come to an end, and to recognize the standout player of the series, it is the Immortals top laner, Huni, as he played absolutely amazing. Whether it was semi-selfish in the beginning to make sure the lane was won, it was in the end all for the team.
I think this was a huge like redemption series for him after getting so much flack in the semifinals, that he's able to come out and basically win his lane all 3 times. I know it's against a Shen, and you know it's kind of expected, but he didn't rely on Reignover at all. He kind of just took this series by himself.
And it wasn't just about the lane, right? It's about incredible team fighting. Even in the games that they did lose, he was kind of like the sole shining light in a lot of those times. You know, there's one game, him on Gnar, he's chunking out the Vel'Koz, he's getting solo kills, he's doing pretty much everything he possibly can to get his team back in the game.
And I think the performance that stands out to me was that game 4, where even though they lost that game, he's trying to do so much around the map by himself, split pushing, understanding, okay, the split push can't work anymore. I got to flank by myself into the Vel'Koz and the Jhin, and he looks for it and he's able to pull it off. He's running the team around the mini-map and making the pressure by himself. He's putting up as much pressure as a team should solo, which, I mean, that's an MVP performance if I've ever seen one.
Absolutely.
I also gotta love that he has his own little twist on everything. Even though he's playing Echo, even though it's standard, he's going Titanic Hydra, he's picking up Tiamats, and he always has to find a way to make it a little bit more aggressive, give it that Huni flavor, and you gotta love it.
Final thoughts? All set?
I mean, couldn't ask for a better series. I mean, I can't wait to see what tomorrow brings.
It's going to be amazing. We've started off day 1. It's on fire, and nobody wants to put it out. We'll turn to the updated playoff bracket now. We have a few more teams to plug in. Immortals completed their Toronto run. I didn't say that. Ending in 3rd place, and it's obviously a little kind of bittersweet for them, once again coming into the series. Following tonight's results, Immortals has secured 70 championship points in their pursuit of a spot at Worlds. Their gauntlet destiny is still up in the air, pending the results of tomorrow's final. If TSM prevail, Immortals will be the regional qualifier boss, only needing to play in the final round of the tournament to win their way to Worlds. Seems pretty nice. They've done the work here. It's hopefully going to pay off in the end for them. What do we feel that is going to actually happen tomorrow? Because the options, like they said, Stixxay, are you a TSM fan? Are CLG fans TSM fans right now? Because C9 has been putting up a huge fight as well.
I think it's really hard to call. And TSM, although they've been so dominant all split long, C9 has looked really good in the playoffs, and they looked really good against Immortals last weekend. And I think one of the things that makes this matchup so interesting is normally you can just kind of look across the board and it's like, well, TSM is actually better in every lane, and their team's better, like in team play. But I think C9 actually has a chance across all matchups to be able to actually, at their best, match or even exceed some of TSM's players.
And the big thing for me was that TSM played a pretty grindy style. Like, they weren't very explosive in the semifinals, and we know C9 likes slow, bloodless games. So I think this could be the kind of thing where the matchup of both skill and playstyle is not that bad for C9.
Well, we don't have long to wait. Tomorrow, we are back here live at the Air Canada Centre in Toronto, Ontario. So be sure to tune in following the conclusion of the EU final in Krakow as TSM takes on Cloud9 for North America's ultimate prize and the first seed at Worlds. Now, that's it for today, but if you're still looking to hang out, head over to facebook.com/LOL Esports in 15 minutes to join myself and the rest of the guys as we relax and chat about the day's events. Now, from all of us here on the desk, the casters, and the entire live broadcast team, thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.
It's actually unreal to be back home with my family and to have them here and be surrounded by thousands of incredible fans.
As it looks like we are going to get things underway. Let's do it! Immortals versus CLG, game 1. The stun and the hunt of the Brock. He actually burnt the ulti. Hey, that's that! Who he solo kills him! CLG turn it on again. Turtle.
Good job, good job.
But Stixay! Oh my god, he sniped everyone!
Let's get back in this. Look at Hootie!
The snipe Hootie will get protected by the statue. Oh! Who melts as Stixay is destroying people.
What a game, honestly. Yeah, first of all, I love that game.
Looks like a blue buff steal's gonna go awry here for Rainover. Eats the ulti out there from Malzahar and see you, Sunshine.
I can get Sivir. Sivir. Splash.
That's
right, baby.
Barely creeps away. There's the kill. Andy Carrot's going nuts. And still they get one. The Wild Turtle goes.
Can you go? Yeah. We fucking in. Randy, go in and then.
And Immortals. Another race on CLG. Finally claims a victim.
I'm going.
Gonna surge forward. They take out Hui. Rainover makes the play to flank two.
Placer, he's out of vision.
Steal,
He's trying to go for it.
How could I? Oh my god! Xfinity steals it for Immortals.
Hitting. Finish. Attack Nexus. Nice.
Well, he's gonna get Hui getting at the knocker. That's an easy alley-oop. Successful in stopping CLG. Oh, Stixay! Takes out Hootie.
I got Sivir. In the pit. Cast the blast. I got it.
Game 5, here we come. Turtle back in, trying to take it out. Wild Turtle! I got it! Blood! Outplay CLG. Will go down, but Hootie joins his way in. Great hold there from the Kraken. Stuns up everyone, Immortals! They are doing it. They bruise, they bleed, but they never, ever die. Immortals conquer the North.